Hi, I'm Susanna, and this is my response to module number 3. So the nurse manager has specific responsibilities to the organization and to the staff. The staff members have responsibilities to the organization and to the manager. Nurse managers have the responsibility of accomplishing goals in the nursing division, maintaining quality care within the financial limitations, encourage motivation, develop team spirit, and increase morale, and further professional development of staff. On page 153 in Chapter 7, management functions include to control, plan, organize, and to staff, to coordinate and direct. I think that planning and organizing is highly important in this role, and those are qualities I do not have yet. I scored the lowest on the quiz for administration skill. I'm not effective with detailed aspects of work, and making strategic plans does not appeal to me. However, I scored very high in the interpersonal and conceptual role. I'd be great at directing and coordinating staff. Directing includes supervising, leading, motivating, and communicating. These are skills I would use to lead a unit. I would develop relationships among staff and motivate them towards a common goal. I would gain groups' respect by using personal honesty, be fair to everyone, I'll listen, praise others when deserved, and give clear work orders. I communicate very well, and I think that would benefit the unit. So I read an article called Collaborative Care Best Practice Models. As healthcare becomes more complex, it's proven that working in teams decreases these challenges and improves quality and efficiency, and it leads to better patient outcomes and increases job satisfaction. Interprofessional education has been key to prepare students to function effectively in healthcare teams. So a UVA School of Nursing and Medicine created a new educational model in which collaborative care best practice models are developed as a basis for interprofessional experiences. There is a step-to-step method for creating the collaborative care best practice models. First, you identify scenario and target learners and associated clinical practice guidelines. For example, critical illness, sepsis, the patient population would be adult care setting, and the setting would be in the ICU, and the learners would be nursing students and undergraduate medical students. Step 2 is to recruit experts to provide training in interprofessional care, like physicians and nurses who provide sepsis care, who have one-on-one experience with that. Then identify a list of critical collaborative behaviors for effective implementation of each step. Create the practice model and development assessment tools like a checklist or instructional video. Then develop learning objectives from the collaborative care best practice models for target learners. For example, exchange knowledge effectively with other members of the care team, ensure that info is being told, understood, and engaged in shared decision making. Step 5 is to assess the interprofessional education experience, the developmental process and achievement. I think that creating a class or model to better interdisciplinary care and communication could better the nurses on the unit, which would then better the patient. I think that everyone could use some extra help in interdisciplinary care and communication. I actually did a sim lab today with advanced nurse practitioners, and we ran over scenarios that actually involve sepsis or congestive heart failure and how we could better our communication with each other. So I thought that was a really neat article that I read about a care model. So if I were a nurse manager of my unit right now, which would be 11 Tower, I would have to coordinate the charge nurse, clinical nurse leaders, patient care leaders, RNs, and nurse aides. I would be a part of trauma services, which also includes other units on the 11th floor, such as 11A and the Sticky, which is the surgical trauma ICU. The 11th floor works with trauma and orthopedic doctors and has a similar patient population, so I'd be working among that group and trying to develop common goals among what our unit, like the trauma division, needed. So we would work together and represent trauma services. For example, a main problem for us would be falls and orthopedics and trauma, because either altered mental status or they have broken bones and they try to get up. I also would coordinate with other nurse managers along the medical surgical units, which would be like 5 tower, 9 tower, 3 tower, 11A, kind of an overall med surg nursing. The model of my healthcare system is very similar to the matrix organizations that I read about, because it creates groups within the organization that belong to different departments, but also share common goals to affect the organization as a whole. It creates permanent or semi-permanent departments within a structure because the needs or goals of the organization require specialized and diverse work. So there's acute care, ICUs, and different specialties among the umbrella of what our organization is. And also, as a nurse manager, of course, you'd go up the chain of command with the organization and report to an assistant director of nursing for med-surg nurses. So when asked if I preferred the vertical or horizontal model, I would choose the vertical model because they have a chain of management, usually with a CEO at the top delegating to lower level managers and then going down the chain of command. This structure, I think, better delegates tasks to employees or departments, and you have a well-defined responsibilities. Vertical management will, it's produce hierarchical arrangement, regular assigned activities, brand directives, and policy guidance for behaviors. I think it's a great model for healthcare because it defines the scope of responsibility for each role, and in the hospital there's so many roles and diversity of work. I think it's great to have a clear outline of your expectations. So, looking forward to hearing from y'all. Thank you.